how to write the answer. First I will keep about that. For Maoism we will discuss this. What are the solutions we will discuss this. With that answer writing part will be over. రాయాల్సిందే అయిపోతుంది అక్కడికి. తర్వాత ఏముంటుంది, స్టోరీ ఉంటుంది. స్టోరీ ఐ విల్ టెల్ ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్. ఓకే, సో దట్ it will be for your answer writing. Story no need to write the answers, that's it. Okay, so how I am going to take you to this answer writing is in the same format that I said to you people when I was telling you how to write the answers. So the first reason is historical reasons. This will be majorly a problem of tribals and peasants. As I said yesterday, tribals and peasants, the problem is majorly of tribals and peasants. So what are the historical problems? I said historically alienation of tribals from their land. Examples, the forest acts that the British has made and which was continued in India throughout its time. So this is the major discontentment for tribals. Second reason is as far as the peasants is considered, exploitation of the peasants by the landlords. For example, the land revenue policies of British created class differences. Landlords and peasants were made as tenants in their own land. As a result, this led to huge dissatisfaction. Second reason, geographical reasons. Now, geographical reasons is one of the biggest problem for left-wing extremism. What is that problem? That is the terrains, the geographical terrain of forests are unaccessible. Because of this, the movements are sustained. Why the movements are sustained? Geographical terrain of forests are inaccessible. For example, Maoists have based, or Naxalites has their bases are deep inside forests, and state is not able to reach tribals. ఫారెస్ట్ లోపల ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి స్టేట్ అనేది రీచ్ అవ్వలేకపోయింది ఎప్పటివరకు 2004 వరకు, అంటిల్ 2004 అని రాయొచ్చు ఇక్కడ. దిస్ మేడ్ ద మూమెంట్ టు రైజ్. This has created one more problem. As the state is unable to reach, it is hurting in two ways. One way is the state is unable to implement law and order, and the state is unable to make the so-called inroads for development. Or governance is not reachable to the people. Connectivity issues makes it very difficult. Even during the times of COVID-19 also, you might have seen people walking through the hilly areas to reach to some tribal lands to give that COVID vaccinations to the tribals. So connectivity is still a biggest problem here, right? Geography, history, geography. Then go with society, social factors. One, social exclusions of Dalits, that is scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Social exclusion, social alienation is one of the problem. Now the discontent people, what they did, they acted as recruits for Maoists. Discontent people was acted as recruits for Maoists. For example, in Telangana, here, polity and governance, there are two things here. How to think to write the answer in polity. Whenever I say polity, the political structure that is present inside the country is called polity. The structure, what you have, the structure of law making body, the structure of executive, the structure of judiciary. Now, what is law? Now there was some loophole here in the political factors. One loophole is left-wing extremism is seen as state law and order problem. That is, left-wing extremism until 2004 was seen as state law and order problem. స్టేట్ లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ప్రాబ్లం. స్టేట్ లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ప్రాబ్లం చూడడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది, లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ఈజ్ ఏ స్టేట్ సబ్జెక్ట్. లా అండ్ ఆర్డర్ ఈజ్ ఏ స్టేట్ సబ్జెక్ట్. Hence there was no coordination among states until 2004. No coordination among states until 2004. States used to function individually. ఏ స్టేట్ కా స్టేట్ ఇండివిజువల్గా ఫంక్షన్ చేస్తుంది. Whereas by this point of time the Maoists or the Naxalites were operating together. They are operating in two ways. Lack of a central law to fight against Maoists. Again the same thing, no coordination among the states. The central used to think that this is a state law and order problem, why should center support this, right? Law and order problem state the, so there was no central support. Now the central support was not there. As a result, state were left to their own domain. There was no central funding. As a result, for example, there was no central funding to tackle the menace of left wing extremism. What is the problem of executive? Executive is the force which is, now executive, excessive use of force by the state police made the people to go out of their line, right? Excessive use of force. Today in the Hindu they have given excessive use of armed forces special powers act in the northeast area. Today this is the Hindu's article. How excessive force is there, what are the remedial measures that we have to take, very important article. So like that, excessive force was used by the state excessive use of the force state. One more thing in this law and order 3 poor law and order కింద కాదు, దీని కింద రాయండి, ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కింద. Excessive use of force by the state. Examples, recently in 2020 when the country was under COVID-19 lockdown, people in Bastar village, the tribals in Bastar village, the tribals in Bastar have come together to oppose, came together to oppose establishment of security camps in their tribal areas. For every 5 kilometers in the forests of Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, there is a security camp. ప్రతి 5 కిలోమీటర్లకు చొప్పున జార్ఖండ్, ఛత్తీస్గఢ్లో ఒక ఫారెస్ట్ క్యాంప్ అనేది ఉంది, సెక్యూరిటీ క్యాంప్ అనేది ఉంది. ఈచ్ క్యాంప్ కంటైన్ అరౌండ్ 80 police personnel. Now you can imagine how the people are getting afraid by looking at the things. As a result, what they did in 2020 when the country was in lockdown, almost all the tribals in this area has met and they started opposing to this, and there was few exchange of fire, and because of this few people were 3 persons were killed. Excessive use of force. Now the state, these people are not liking it. The second thing is poor executive actions. Poor executive actions which resulted in increased force. Poor executive actions has resulted in increased force, increased violence. Example, in 2005 government of India has came out with a policy known as the Salva Judum, which was highly criticized by the Supreme Court in 2011. Salva Judum. What is this Salva Judum? The state has recruited the local tribals. The state has recruited local young tribals, They gave them the weapons. They were provided weapons to fight against Maoism. Now these people, they were not getting training, but they were given guns, and these people, they went into the forest and they started killing their own men. and this was hugely criticized by human rights activities, hugely criticized by Supreme Court of India, saying that this is acting as a people or the government is using, or security forces are using them as shields, human shields, to protect the security forces from మావోయిస్ట్ ఫైట్ చేయమనేసి పోలీస్ పోవాల్సింది యూత్ని తీసుకొని గన్లు అవన్నీ ఇచ్చేసి మీరు పోయి ఫైట్ చేయండి అన్నారు. దీస్ ఫెలోస్ రాదర్ దెన్ గోయింగ్ టు ద మావోయిస్ట్, దే వెంట్ ఇన్సైడ్ దిస్ ఫారెస్ట్ అండ్ దే కిల్డ్ మెనీ ట్రైబల్స్ అండ్ దే హ్యావ్ డిస్ట్రాయిడ్ మెనీ ట్రైబల్స్. యాజ్ ఎ రిజల్ట్ ద సిచ్యువేషన్ వాజ్ outlawed. In 2011, Supreme Court has outlawed this salva sudam. It says that this is not a correct thing. Judiciary failure of implementation of judicial pronouncements, failure of implementation of judicial orders, failure of implementation of judicial orders. Example, the Maoist attack in Naxalbari. If you look at Naxalbari incident in 1967, I said this is because of the failure of implementation of Naxalbari started, or the violence at Naxalbari has started